So this is coming from Cosmic Circus. Now I've never read Cosmic Circus before, and it's a blog. I'm not saying that anything bad about Cosmic Circus. I've just never been on this site before. It was linked by a Reddit thread, and this is going to be about the upcoming Spider-Man 4 story and how it may tie into the third Venom movie and Knull. And we're going to talk all about that here on this video because now this may contain probably not major spoilers, but it may contain ideas for what the premise of the fourth Spider-Man movie is going to be. So I want to get that out of the way first. Also, Spider-Man 4, like he talks about here, it's set to start filming the Tom Holland movie, the next MCU Spider-Man 4, next year for a 2026 release. Probably sandwich in between Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. That's what has been coming out now. That may of course change because you never know what could happen. As you know, with these current Marvel phases, things have been moved around so much that anything could happen. But Venom 3 is coming out, so I want to get to what Cosmic Circus is talking about. Now again, I don't know much about Cosmic Circus, so I can't vouch for the credibility of this, but I will tell you, if you want to not know anything, this ain't the video for you. However, if this is true, we'll probably know about it whenever the trailers drop. So I don't think it's going to be a situation where they're revealing any big secret. It says here, multiple reports have surfaced in the last few weeks stating that filming... Oh, I already talked about that's the filming stuff. So now this is where it may tie into Venom 3. Now, let me get this out of the way too. Venom 3 is supposed to be the final Venom film with Tom Hardy playing Eddie Brock. And I would assume, haven't seen the movie yet, haven't read spoilers yet, but I would assume that at the end, the symbiote and Eddie will part ways. But that might not be the case. It may be one of those endings where the symbiote just stays with Eddie in the foreseeable future, maybe even going into Secret Wars. You know, that could be what happens. So it says here, earlier today, this is from a couple days ago, the new Venom Last Dance trailer was released, revealing that Knull will be in this upcoming film. This sparked a lot of speculation to which I took to social media X and fanned the flames by teasing the King of Black will be back. With all of this speculation and rumors running rampant, for this article, I'm going to break down what I've just heard about the upcoming Spider-Man 4 and shed some light on what this movie could be about. So I wanted to actually tell you that, just to summarize something. Originally, the plan for Spider-Man 4, MCU Spider-Man 4, is that it was going to be a street-level story with Peter facing off against the Kingpin or characters that are more street-level, not a cosmic sort of, big world-ending scenario like No Way Home and the Avengers movies. But apparently Sony did not like that direction and put pressure on Kevin Feige to make it a bit more grander. I don't know what the result of that will be, but I will say that they may have won. In other words, I think a lot of folks want that street-level Spider-Man story, but Sony... they kind of have a little bit of power here because they are the ones allowing Spider-Man to be in the MCU because of that deal that was made forever ago. So it says here, in April 2024, I heard rumors about Knull's appearance in Venom The Last Dance. After doing some digging, I was able to confirm his appearance a few days later. At the time, the idea of introducing such a scary character like Knull instilled a degree of fear in me, which I expressed on social media. Mainly because a character like Knull in a Venom movie like this could potentially be very limited to his comic counterpart. But further along, I learned that Knull's role is not just a one and done. So he may appear in the Venom film, but maybe he's not only gonna be in the Venom film. And it says here, there are further plans to bring back Knull in an upcoming project outside of Venom The Last Dance. The idea of Knull appearing in another project after Venom threequel seemed interesting, and after speaking to multiple sources, some interesting information arose. Initially, Marvel Studios wanted to develop a street-level story for this upcoming installment of Spider-Man, having him team up with Daredevil to take on Wilson Fisk following the events of Daredevil Born Again. Multiple villains from Spider-Man lore were also in consideration for the plot of this film. New villains like the Magia, Mr. Negative, Spencer Smith, as well as some revamped villains like MacDonald MacGargan as Scorpion and even an Aaron Davis as Prowler were being considered as part of this movie. Now, if they're going to do Prowler, they have to do Miles Morales, right? Like, maybe not in that same movie, but if you're going to introduce Prowler, which they kind of already did with Childish Gambino in Homecoming, right? Remember that. So if they're going to do that, if that's the plan, then they have to do Miles. Because I think if you have Prowler without Miles, it's going to feel very, I don't know, man. People are going to want to see Miles. They're going to just assume that Miles is coming, you know. Marvel still intends to tell this story, but we may have to wait a bit longer. If the street level story is being pushed back, what story could take its place? Recently, I heard the upcoming Spider-Man film might pit Tom Holland's Spider-Man and Tom Hardy's Venom together, with Venom: The Last Dance setting up the interaction. See, that would mean that Venom would still be with, like, the symbiote would still be with Eddie. By the end of Venom: The Last Dance, we may see Eddie Brock cross over into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, with some sources indicating that the recent reshoots from NYC's Venom: The Last Dance has to do with that, but that remains unconfirmed. Let's not forget that there was a piece of the symbiote that was left behind in the post-credit scene of No Way Home. I think it was No Way Home, right? So, yeah. Not only that, but hearing that potential villain for this film would be Knull, who is seeking to enshroud the entire multiverse in his darkness following its discovery. It's important to note that the Venom symbiote is currently in two different universes, the Sonyverse and the MCU. That's right. And the Venom symbiote was in the, if you want to talk about it, the Raimi-verse before any of this. But Peter was able to stop it in Spider-Man 3. However, that means that it still would exist, you know, not in now, but I mean like in the past. This link may spark Knull to seek out Venom in 616 and be on a mission to engulf the multiverse in darkness. Spider-Man Homeworld. The idea of Tom Holland's Spider-Man and Tom Hardy's Venom coming together would be an interesting dynamic for this upcoming film, and one that I'm pretty sure many fans would have wanted to see. While I'm sure we'd finally have our Spidey versus Venom showdown at the beginning of the movie, giving them a common enemy would give them a chance to not only sacrifice any character arcs they have by making either an antagonist. Also, Knull has some interesting origins deeply rooted within the multiverse. The idea could be plausible, who knows? Maybe Knull lost his Necros world in an incursion and it slipped into 616 while he hid in the middle of two multiverses. The possibilities are interesting, and I'll let you all know if any development arises. What do you think? So, this rumor of Knull being the villain for the next Spider-Man film, I like it a lot, but the question, of course, is that going to bleed into Secret Wars? Because it sort of feels like everything that they're doing with all these films, including even, you know, even the more recent Deadpool and Wolverine, it feels that they're all going in the direction that's going to, everything will pay off in Secret Wars. However, that may not be the case. There may be unresolved plot threads. There may be other characters that have stories outside of the main battle with Doctor Doom or the battle on Battle World or whatever they have planned that could end up being radically different than anything else on the agenda. So I guess we'll see. But the idea of Knull being the villain, see, it's going to be tough because I really did want that street story with Spider-Man and Daredevil. And maybe if they really wanted to, they could squeeze in some of that maybe at the beginning of the fourth Spider-Man film. Maybe Spider-Man and Daredevil are doing stuff. Maybe Spider-Man can make a cameo on the Daredevil show. There's a lot of ways they could do it still. But still, like I said, Knull being the villain would be a big threat for Spider-Man, and having to team up with Venom, I think, would be an awesome thing to see on the big screen, because we haven't seen that yet. It's happened in the comics a bunch, but never in a movie. So what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below.